What a fun time for Major League Baseball. You got the All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby, and of course the Amateur Draft. And this year's class may not be as strong as the 2023 class, but there is still a ton of elite talent available for Major League Baseball teams in this draft. So let's mock it up. Let's go. The Cleveland Guardians have the #1 overall pick this year, and I have them taking second baseman Travis Bazzana from Oregon State. Now, Bazzana is a very good college hitter. He may not be a true 1-1, but he is one of the best talents in this draft, and I think that's where the Guardians are going first overall. At number 2, I have the Cincinnati Reds taking third baseman outfielder Charlie Condon from Georgia. He has an elite power bat potential, and I think fits very well in the Reds system as a potential outfielder for them in the future. With the third overall pick, I have the Colorado Rockies taking starter Chase Burns out of Wake Forest, a big-time strikeout arm. Pair him with Chase Dollander, their #1 overall pick last year, and you have the makings of potentially a good starting rotation in Colorado. At number 4, the Oakland Athletics are very interesting. I have them taking shortstop Bryce Rayner. He's a high school shortstop. He's going to be a few years away from the major leagues. A very talented player, though, and someone they can build with looking towards the future in Las Vegas. Number 5, the Chicago White Sox. How about Jack Caglione? A potential two-way star. We know the bat is going to play. The question is, are the White Sox going to let him pitch as well? Probably not. I think most teams have him as a true power hitter. He's coming out of Florida, and I think ends up with the White Sox. Our first lefty off the board on the mound is going to be Hagen Smith at number 6 to the Kansas City Royals. He's out of Arkansas. He's a very polished college pitcher and is very close to being major league ready already, and that's why I think he fits very well with the Royals and their push towards a potential playoff spot in 2025. At number 7, the St. Louis Cardinals, I have them taking Trey Yesavage, a starter out of East Carolina. He's also a very polished starting pitcher in terms of the college ranks and is fairly close to being major league ready, and I think that fits the Cardinals' timeline very well. At number 9, the Angels, I have them taking J.J. Weatherholtz, an up-the-middle type player out of West Virginia, someone who's also close to being major league ready and someone they could pair with Zach Neto and have a future up the middle with the Angels. Sometimes the matching and pairing just makes so much sense. Nick Kurtz, a first baseman out of Wake Forest, I have going to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates need all kinds of need at first base in their minor league system and potentially at their major league level, and Nick Kurtz is a very polished college hitter and would fit very well in the Pirate system. In at number 10, the Washington Nationals, I have them taking outfielder Braden Montgomery out of Texas A&M. He suffered an ankle injury at the College World Series. I think that slides him down some draft boards, but I think fits very well at number 10 with the Washington Nationals in their best player at the best slot approach. Number 11, I have the Detroit Tigers taking Connor Griffin, a shortstop outfielder type. He is a high school player, and they could pair him with last year's pick, Max Clark, also a high school player, and putting a lot of talent in the system for the Tigers. Yes, it's a few years away, but Connor Griffin could be a difference maker in the future for the Tigers. At number 12, coming out of Tennessee, I have second baseman Christian Moore going to the Boston Red Sox. He's an up-the-middle type player, probably a second baseman in the end. He had a College World Series cycle, so you know he's got some pop. Christian Moore to the Red Sox at 12. At 13, I think the Giants are going to get a really nice player in outfielder James Tibbs out of Florida State. He's a very accomplished hitter. I think fits very well in what the Giants are trying to do in their minor league system. One of the best college bats available. Slides a little bit to number 13, but the Giants get a good piece in James Tibbs. At 14, I have the Cubs picking up a utility type player in Seaver King. I think that fits very well for the Cubs. He's coming out of Wake Forest, a do-it-all type player who really matches well what the Cubs like to do. They like to move players around the field a little bit. Seaver King would be someone who really fits that potential and has a very accomplished hitter for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. So Seaver King at 14 to the Cubs. At 15, I got the Seattle Mariners taking third baseman Cam Smith. He had a massive year for Florida State and is flying up draft boards, and I think he lands with the Mariners here at number 15, a very accomplished hitter. Hopefully he can build on his last true strong year in college and add to the Mariners system. At 16, I have the Marlins taking left-handed pitcher Cam Caminiti, a high school lefty, and we know the Marlins have the ability to develop pitching, and Caminiti is just going to be the next in that line of development for the Marlins. At 17, I have the Brewers taking third baseman Tommy White out of LSU. He's just hammered the ball all 3 years at LSU, 75 home runs. I think Tommy White finds himself as a Brewer after the draft. We find the Rays at number 18. I have them taking Vance Honeycutt, an outfielder out of North Carolina. He has a ton of tools. The strikeout rate is a little concerning, but I think Tampa Bay would be a great organization for Honeycutt to end up in and figure this out and really progress through the minor league system with Tampa. The Mets at number 19, I have them taking outfielder Carson Bench out of Oklahoma State. Bench is just an overall very good player, would fit very well at this slot and add some talent to that Mets minor league system. With number 20, I have the Toronto Blue Jays taking Tommy Amick, a third baseman out of Tennessee. He had an appendectomy and really did not hit well to start the year, but really found it towards the end of this season with Tennessee. I think Amick slides in this draft, but I think finds a very nice spot with the Blue Jays, who could really use an accomplished college hitter in their minor league system. At 21, the Minnesota Twins, I have taken Ryan Waldschmidt, an outfielder out of Kentucky. He dealt with a knee injury earlier in the year, but had a very nice finish to his college season there with the Wildcats. I think he fits very well with the Minnesota Twins. Another outfielder add to their depth. I've got the Baltimore Orioles taking right-hander Brody Brecht out of Iowa, a big-time power arm who really lacks control, but the Orioles have really been developing pitching very well of late, and maybe Brecht ends up as a closer type with that big arm in the future. Obviously, they want him to stick as a starter, but Brody Brecht in Baltimore makes a lot of sense as a potential closer down the line for the Orioles. At 23, I have the most interesting player in the draft. Durangelo Cinch is a right-handed pitcher and left-handed pitcher out of Mississippi State. I have him going to the Dodgers at 23. Now, a lot of teams are looking at Cinch as likely just a right-handed pitcher, but maybe is a guy who can develop a little bit more power in that left side of the arm. What an interesting prospect, though. I'll be following him through his minor league career. I have him going to the Dodgers at 23. At 24, the Atlanta Braves, Kalen Culpepper, a shortstop who has the potential to be an elite defender at third base. So I have him going to the Atlanta Braves. You know the Braves value defense along with the bat, and Kalen Culpepper to me makes a lot of sense for the Braves at this slot. At 25, I have the Padres taking Slade Caldwell, a high school outfielder. You know the Padres love to draft their high school bats. They've been doing it for year after year. So I have them taking Slade Caldwell here at number 25. At 26, I have the Yankees taking the highest rated high school pitcher. That's right-hander William Schmidt. The issue with Schmidt is going to be signability and the amount of money he's looking for. But we know the Yankees are definitely willing to overplay for the right player. So I have William Schmidt at 26 to the Yankees. At 27, we see another high schooler, lefty Cash Mayfield, going to the Philadelphia Phillies. It's kind of a long-term play for the Phillies for their future rotation. They're pretty set at the major league rotation for the next 3-4 years. Cash Mayfield may be around then to fill in those spots and be the next ace for the Phillies in a few years. At 28, I have the Houston Astros taking Theo Gillen, an up-the-middle type player, probably projects more as a second baseman, a high schooler who in the future could potentially be the replacement for Jose Altuve. At 29 to the Arizona Diamondbacks, how about catcher Walker Janek? Solid overall game, does need to improve with the bat, but he's a capable defender with a decent arm. I have Janek going to the D-backs at 29. And at number 30, the Texas Rangers with catcher Malcolm Moore. The numbers suggest Moore is going to project as a better player than maybe he is capable of at this time. He's coming out of Stanford. He's got some quality defense. Look for him to improve at the bat as a future Texas Ranger. So there you have it. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of my mock draft. Who do you have going number 1, or who do you hope that your favorite team is going to pick in the first round? As always, I comment back to everyone who comments here on a 3-Up, 3-Down video, so make sure you comment down below and let's get the conversation rolling. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of another video here on 3-Up, 3-Down. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We've had a lot of growth here of late. I greatly appreciate all your guys' support. Make sure you go check out some of the previous videos. We're rolling with some out-of-the-park baseball stuff and my video on improving improving the MLB Draft. Make sure you go check that out, especially if you are into minor league style content. But I greatly appreciate all your support, and until next time, take care, everyone.